Is to my ears, is this a happier record than Challengers?
Um, I don't know. It's just more upbeat. You know, the funny thing is, Challengers is really kind of the most happy record ever made. 'Cause it's got like love songs on it, you know, and it's got some songs that
Maybe.
are sad. I think it's just maybe more downbeat, but I think our lyrics are always kind of downbeat. I guess that people think that was sad because the music was more mellow, but the lyrics were actually more hopeful than I think they'd ever been. Like there's songs like a song like "Go Places." I don't know.
Maybe
Well,
up
that's just a
tempo.
straight up love song.
Maybe up tempo is the word I should use rather than happier.
Yeah, this is definitely a more up tempo record. Definitely. I think with Challengers, I thought we weren't, you know, as mellow as we were ever going to go. But I still, yeah, I feel like I'm always defending that record. But it's just a record we really wanted to make at that time, you know? Like, I think people want you to sound a certain way, you know? Like I'm sure no one will ever want Grizzly Bear to put out an upbeat pop record.
No.
Even if it's the most brilliant record, even if it's like Cheap Trick, everybody's gonna go, this sucks. So I think people, to a certain degree, feel that way about us. Like we have this thing that we do very well, and people want us to stick to that. And when we veer from it, people go, what's up with this? I paid my $10 to hear the new Pornographers sound like the new Pornographers, and they don't want us to play ballads.
Because those first three albums were just, great power pop.
Yeah.
But after three records, you're going to want to explore different territory, right?
Well, although if you listen to our records in a row, I think you could see we were kind of heading towards the kind of songs we did on Challengers. Like, Twin Cinema had These Are the Fables, which wouldn't have been out of place on Challengers, or a song like Bones of an Idol. Like, we were just moving more in that direction, and it was the kind of the songs I wanted to write more. I was just sick of being. It's maddening when people expect a certain thing from you. Like maybe it's just something in my contrary nature. And the songs like "Letter from an Occupant" or "Laws Have Changed" or "Sing Me Spanish Techno," I feel like I could write those songs in my sleep, and it's just no fun to write 12 songs that all sound like that, even if that's what it would take to make us pop stars.
Well, how many years is it? We're at least 10 years into the band, right?
Well, the first record came out in October of 2000.
Okay, so 10 years.
Yeah.
So you're wanting to, you're older, you're different places in life, you've evolved as musicians and songwriters, so it's only normal. With this record, with Together, where have you gone from Challengers?
Well, I think we took a similar aesthetic that Challengers had, but I think we just infused it with more of like our classic sound. I think after having gone as mellow as we did, I wanted to go back and do something that was more rock. And try things that were actually more rock than anything we'd ever done, even on the first records, which, people think are really upbeat. So that was especially the idea with the first song, Moves. I like that big riff, that big rock riff played on a loud electric guitar and a cello. That was, even though it ends up sounding like orchestral pop in the end, I think I meant it to be like a much bigger rock song. But
there's bits and pieces, and I mean this in the most positive way, of ELO here.
no, I love ELO. I think there's more than bits and pieces, or more precisely, it's more the move than ELO.
Okay, sure, right.
Because I always loved Roy Wood did his own cello playing, and he rarely had a string section. It was just like a cool cello, and so there's not really a string section on this record. There's sometimes it's a cello and a violin, but it's usually a cello or a violin, and we're just using them like they're not even playing together. They're just doing two separate parts. We're just using them more like rock instruments, and I think that's something I took from the move. But of course, ELO did that so well, and I can't help it. I just love ELO. I remember last year, I was sitting in the car, just driving, listening to music, and I was listening to all like the hottest new indie rock, which I love, and so much of it I think is amazing. But at some point, like ELO Living Thing came on, and I just thought, this is the greatest song. Like, it's just the music I'm drawn to. Like, there's music that I think is just fascinating and interesting and genius, and there's just the music that I just love. And that's like, ELO is that. I could just listen to ELO's greatest hits on repeat for, a day. And I think that comes out in our music, and people sometimes like to put us down for being like so retro. And I think, well, I can't help it. I'm just making the kind of songs that I want to hear. We're not really trying to break any new ground. It's just,
I think it's an interesting amalgam of current indie rock with that 70s sort of Jeff Lynne sensibility.
I think that's definitely what we've always been trying to do. I mean, because I've always loved, like, classic songwriters, like Jeff Lynne or like Brian Wilson or Burt Bacharach and Hal David. But I've always just loved, like, all the indie rock that's come through the years. I've always loved, like, the Thinking Fellers and, Railroad Jerk or Pavement, Guided by Voices, just all those bands. And I think we've just always been a combo of all those things.
One thing that's fascinated me about the development of the internet, I mean, when you guys began, the internet was just really starting to become, a thing with music fans. Now, anybody with a blog and a WordPress account can become a reviewer. So there are a billion different people reviewing albums and bands. Do you pay attention to this? Do you find it discouraging when you find, some, Johnny in his basement in Albany, New York, stabs you in the back with a...
Yeah, that's always... I mean, that's why it's stupid to read your own press.
Yeah.
Like I've said it many times, it really is kind of like being a heroin addict. Like, I think if you read your own press, and after a while, I think you just need good press to make you feel normal. Like, it doesn't even make you feel happy, but yeah, some guy in his basement in Albany attacks you, all of a sudden you go, why? Why does everybody hate me? But,
I think it works like this. You have 99 great reviews, which makes you feel normal. You have one, and you're crushed.
Yeah, exactly.
A bad one, you're crushed.
And it's stupid to let people have that kind of control over your life, so...
And I don't really necessarily think they even know that they have it. Like, I think a lot of people, especially the young kids who are, at their computer and they're just writing something, I don't even think they think we read it. Like...
I think they'd be shocked to find out that you did.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think they really fully realize, like, how a personally mean review can actually really upset
And
people.
I don't think... It's like being able to read minds in a way. I don't think we're supposed to be able to do it. I don't think we're supposed to be able to go on the internet and just reach into the minds of random people and find out what they think of you. It's just something really unnatural about it. So I try not to do it, Sometimes my wife will just point stuff out to me. If she said, oh, somebody wrote something really nice about you, you should look at it. And I'll go, okay. But, the rest of it, it just doesn't matter ultimately. Like, what do you have to gain? Like, it either makes you feel bad or it feeds your ego. And neither of those things are positive things, I try to, remember that, doing it is its own reward. And ultimately, if there's any other reward you get from it, it's money.
Right.
So I try to do my best and get paid. That's my motto in life.
Then you show up to a gig, and there are hundreds of people there, hanging on your every word, and that's got to make it feel better.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's what you do it for, And that's why I did it for many years. We all did before anybody paid any attention to it. So I think it's always given us a perspective. Like, I always appreciate it, and I always think it's going to end at any second. So because you have nothing for so long, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're popular, you think, oh, we've got 2 years maybe. So, every time our album comes out, you're thinking, nobody's going to buy this album, nobody's going to go to our shows. But somehow it continues. And I still think that, in 2 days, we're going to find out if anybody bought our record. And I still, I don't know.
Oh, because the SoundScan numbers will come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll see where we went on the charts. And that's the last time I'm going to pay attention. I'm cutting it off. No more caring. Just going, playing our shows and rocking and trying to be a good guy after that.
Well, good luck with the record. I think this is the first album this year with the word Valkyrie in a song title, which is always really kind of cool. And it's with the, when I saw the song title, I thought, okay, this is going to be an up-tempo rocker, and it's not. It's the quietest song on the record.
Yes. Which means it's
Paradox.
It's either the song that everybody despises or loves the most. I found people are like that with quiet songs.
Valkyrie and the Roller Disco. Great name, very evocative title.
Yeah, I was going for a kind of Laura Nyro thing.
So anyway, good luck with the record. I appreciate you taking the time. Glad you made it in.